Entertainment World Soldier here, and I am back to talk about Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 10, and my thoughts on this episode. I'm just going straight into spoilers because it was a boring episode, and I really can't be asked to fucking go on this for long. But this episode was boring, dull, and all it did was concentrate on fucking Michael fucking Burnham. So the episode starts off with Georgiou putting Michael in a cell. She's trying to convince Michael to fucking join her and, betray Lurker, but she refuses. So Georgiou puts her in the agonizer and just tortures her for a little bit. And we're now starting to see the crew starting to question the Emperor because they don't understand why Michael is still alive. They don't understand why she hasn't fucking killed her for betraying her. And I'd be the fucking same. This is the fucking Terran mirror universe. These people don't like fucking weakness. And by keeping Michael alive, Georgiou, you're pretty much leaving yourself wide open for a coup. I mean, you could have just said, you could have secretly killed Michael, you could have done anything other than just, let's keep her in a cell for a little bit and hope she changes her mind. So a lot of time passes, Michael's getting tortured. Saru then sends Tilly to question her, which lasts about 2 seconds. Before she went in to question her, we then get fucking Georgiou saying, "Oh, Tilly, you're the best fucking interrogator we have." It's like, why say that? It's like, I get you're trying to big up this version of fucking Tilly into this dangerous captain, but really, the best negotiator you have. Fucking pointless. And we're starting to see in this show that the budget has been completely slashed, because I have no idea as to why we're still on Discovery when the Emperor's new palace ship is out there. Why is she staying on Discovery and not heading to a new ship? And I think that's because they can't afford the stages anymore. They can only afford Discovery. So because in last week's episode they were fucking literally, had a massive fucking party about the fact Georgiou has a new ship, and we don't even go back to it. It just seems completely fucking pointless to even show that ship if you're not going to use it. So Georgiou starts to talk to Saru, her fucking slave, and tell him about, I can't kill Michael. Was that him? Anyway, I don't know if Saru was there, but she then starts talking about what Michael was like as a child. The fact she can't kill her, and then she brings up the fact that Michael tried to escape a lot when she was a kid with her, and the fact she got lost in a field full of fireflies. She brings a bunch of fireflies into the prison cell with Michael and then leaves them there with her. Then Michael, after refusing to eat for many months, starts to eat this piece of bread, showing that she will now be loyal to Emperor Georgiou, because obviously Michael has changed. She's obviously now going to serve the Emperor, because the next scene is Michael betraying her undying loyalty to the Emperor. Because everybody knows that this is obviously not bullshit. If you can't tell by my sarcasm, this was bullshit. We all knew what the ending of this fucking episode was, which was literally Michael was going to end up betraying Georgiou again. But fuck it, let's just pretend that that's not even fucking possible right now. I mean, this episode just made Georgiou look like a fucking moron. I mean, it's completely destroyed her character for me. I mean, yes, I knew Georgie was a fucking a bitch, a cow. You know, you wouldn't want to fucking have her on. You wouldn't want to be on her bad side. But this episode, all gone. She is way too nice. And in this episode, she's trying to turn the Terran Empire into Starfleet. Because when Michael then fucking turns back to her side, we then start to hear of there's now an alliance between, no, a coalition between the Romulans and the Klingons. A very important thing to know in the Terran universe, to know about an alliance between two major factions. Do we see these major factions? Do we see anything of? Do we do anything with this information? No. For God's sake, we don't even see Lorca in this episode, which makes no sense. I mean, for fuck's sake, you're telling me that you're going to bring up this major plot point, which is there's a fucking alliance going on between the Klingons and the Romulans, and Lorca's trying to help it? What? This episode could have been a free fucking parter if they had done it right. This episode could have focused on Georgiou trying to turn the... Listen, I think turning the Empire into the Terran fucking Federation was dumb. And by the way, a basic copy of what fucking Spock does in the original series when they go to Terran, which we flipping find out that when the fucking Terran Empire turned Federation-like, it got taken over by the Klingons, the fucking Cardassians, and the Terrans got turned into slaves. So we've already gone down this stupid path. This episode should have been Georgiou becoming the Emperor again. Georgiou being comfortable with being evil again. That's what it should have been. And if they had focused on that, if they had just had a second episode being Georgiou finally accepts that Michael betrayed her, that she couldn't do anything about it, that she couldn't save her, and that she finally gives up her feelings for Michael and becomes this badass emperor again. And then the third episode could have been her hunting down Lorca and destroying the Klingon Romulan alliance, which would have been fucking interesting. But that's not what they did. This episode was just full of just, we have to make sure Michael's okay, we have to make sure Michael's okay, we have to make sure Michael is okay. Even though Georgiou's the one who's fucking dying. So the Emperor, so Georgiou tells Michael, you have to prove your loyalty to me, and that means killing all of your co-conspirators. So the next scene is then Michael hunting down one person. That fucking security woman from the first season, Lorca's security officer, is pretty much fucking Denmer and fucking Michael going down the hallway, finding her, shooting at her, and then killing her. That was all it was. We don't see anybody else get hunted down. No, it's just her. Then we go fucking see the Emperor in the captain's office, and then Michael just throws a bunch of fucking Terran badges. Oh yeah, the first badge is a slow motion badge throw, which made no sense. Like, why are you doing slow mo? Just get it over with quick. Here's another badge, here's another badge, here's another badge of my co-conspirators. Because obviously, she has now proven her fucking loyalty to Georgiou. What fucking horse shit. Georgiou would not, a real fucking evil person would never have accepted pawns. That's what all these fucking crewmen were. Pawns in the big game of chess. Michael kills a couple of them. Who cares? The real loyalty would have been Lorca's fucking head. That's what this episode should have been. It should have been hunting down Lorca, going after his bases, going after any ship that was loyal to him. But no, they just keep this episode on Discovery, where apparently a lot of these fucking traitors are, which was boring. You can't just stop a crew by wiping out a few people on one ship when the guy who is leading the coup is out there on his own ship with his own crew making alliances with Klingons and Romulans. How fucking stupid is that? And yet the Emperor's like, oh, that's great, Michael, you fucking proved yourself. And then she says, and then Georgiou does a look, and then Michael fucking gets her knife and kills Denma because apparently she's also one of the traitors, and kills her right in front of Georgiou. I mean, who didn't see that shit coming? I'm sorry, the episode was just you could just tell every scene was coming. You could just tell. As soon as you saw Georgiou give the look, he's like, oh yeah, Denma's going to get stabbed. Because this show is fucking boring and these writers have no imagination. And you can tell the budget has been slashed. God. So the Emperor and Michael head to the bridge. Michael then tells the Emperor about a spy Lurker has. They head to the fucking spy. They find his shuttle. They disable his shuttle. They beam on the ship. Turns out this shuttle pilot or the spy is the same character or the same actor who's playing the mysterious guy on the snow planet who was in the chair. He then starts to talk about, Lorca is pretty much going to win and the Emperor is going to die a horrible death or something. I don't fucking know. Then Michael... Oh no, I just forgot. They have a little chat with this person before they disable his ship. Then they beam him onto their ship. And Michael then goes with Georgiou to the prison bay and asks for the Emperor's personal guard to come with them. Because obviously all the members of this security detail are loyal to the Emperor, right? Right? Fuck's sake. Anyway, back to this fucking cell and the spy pretty much talking bullshit. Michael then shoots the spy and then half of the guards of the Emperor's personal guard shoot at each other and it turns out it was a trap. Who saw that coming? I mean, who did not see that coming? Fuck's sake. And then Michael's just saying that you're weak, Georgiou. I've seen you being nice. I've seen you trying to change the Empire into this weak, useless thing. And then she brings up the fact that you promised the Terrans war, you promised them conquest, and it's like, this is them seriously trying to change the Terrans into the Klingons. The Terrans don't want to yes, they want to conquer, but they're not a war race like the Klingons. They wouldn't see war as a fucking blessing. Yes, conquering other planets would be great, but it's not their biggest thing. I mean, in Enterprise, in their mirror universe, it was basically about keeping the Empire together. In fucking the original series, it was about the Empire keeping control of their empire. It has never been about just conquest with the fucking mirror universe. But they're desperate to try and fix their Klingons by turning the fucking Terrans into it. And it's dumb. Because you've already seen the lore of the fucking Terrans in previous seasons. I mean, in previous shows. And the Tyranids have never been this honourable people who want to die on a field of battle. It's never been that. But these writers are so desperate to make a race of Imperials, they're just desperate now. Because they can't admit they fucked up with their Klingons. They fucked up so bad that they can't admit it, so they can't bring the Klingons back. Because that's why we still have not seen any Klingons right now. Because the showrunners or the writers just can't admit they fucked up. Oh shit. I forgot one scene before we end up in the brig, before we end up on the bridge. The Emperor talks to Saru, tells Saru that he's going to be her personal slave, and he then informs Georgiou that he is about to go into that crazy phase where his people have been told for a very long time that they're all going to go insane and die, and he's saying that he's now ready to die. But Georgiou tells him it's not real. You don't really die when you go through the, I don't know what it's called, the phase or whatever. No, that after you go through the little insane part, you become a better, smarter being. Now, what I thought of this scene was, this would be the greatest propaganda you could ever have with the Kelpians. Georgiou, you have told the Kelpians for fucking years that they die from this fucking illness that you tell them they have. Why not tell Saru you've made a cure for them? Why not say that to them and make them more loyal to you than ever? Why not say you're the only ones that can control this cure, and you would have a race of people who would be loyal to you and die for you, for God's sake, if you stop them from dying and you turn them into these smart and powerful beings. I mean, for fuck's sake. That would have been smart. But what does Georgiou say? He says, nah, don't worry about the phase, or whatever it's called, just happens and you become a smart person and then that's it. That's fucking dumb. If this was a real empire, they would fucking use that information to benefit them by making the Kelpians fucking loyal as fuck to them. I mean, what the hell? Just lie to them, say you're going to give them this fucking medicine that's going to help them, but you all know it's a fucking Sabebo. You know it's bullshit. But let's not fucking be smart about it. Let's just be nice and Starfleet-like in the fucking Terran galaxy. What the fuck? Anyway, back to the fucking prison cell where Michael's betrayed the Emperor. But it turns out the Emperor knew Michael hadn't completely wasn't completely loyal to her, because she has her own security come in to save her, kill a bunch of Michael's men. Also, fucking Kelpians who have just been given rifles for some reason were there. Michael does a bit of fighting. We then get Georgiou and Michael facing off with each other, and fucking Georgiou desperately still trying to get Michael to join her, surrender, and be her daughter again. But it turns out Michael's just too far gone, so the Emperor stabs her, and then Michael dies. But Michael, before she died, stabbed Georgiou in the neck. And in the last scene, we see Saru holding a dying Georgiou. And then we then go back to Snow Planet, where it turns out Georgiou has been only there for a minute and collapsed through the door. When she wakes up, she asks where is she, and she tells Michael that she was back in the Terran universe, where Michael then tells her, you've only been down for a few minutes, but the mysterious person comes back and tells Michael, yeah, she's been gone for a couple of months. It was only a minute for us, but for Giorgio it was months, because he then tells her to look at her body scan or something, and that tells her, yeah, she's been gone for 3 months, but it's only been a minute. But it turns out that the going through the door thing didn't save Giorgio, because she's still starting to have attacks. And then Michael says, you have to help Giorgio. I thought you said it was a cure. He says it was never a cure. It was just about making sure she could travel and weighing her up for that travel. And then now this is the only thing that surprised me, because again, I thought this person was a Q. Turns out he is the Guardian of Forever. Now, the Guardian of Forever was in the original series, where McCoy went crazy, went back in time, and saved this woman who stopped America getting involved in the Second World War, and pretty much guaranteed that the Germans won the Second World War and destroyed Starfleet. And Kirk and Spock went back in time to stop Bones, and they did, and fixed time. But that's the Guardian of Forever, who has come back, who is now travelling, because in the Time War, that is now a thing in Star Trek, because the Time War, because people are abusing that technology, it affected the Guardian of Forever very badly. So he decided to hide for some reason and stay out of this war, even though it's over. And that's why he's on a different planet, because apparently everybody knew where he was, and I don't get that. And he says he doesn't want to he says he didn't want to get involved, even though he wasn't even involved anyway. It was really pointless to bring the Guardian of Forever back. They even fucking had the original voice just come out of nowhere. I mean, that's how he fucking... Anyway, yes, it's the Guardian of Forever. He's come back because he wants to help Giorgio for some reason. And he's now giving Giorgio a choice. You can go through the portal and go back to the Terran Empire and live your life, but that will mean you can never see Michael again. Really doubt this is going to stay, but anyway. So Giorgio tells Michael goodbye. Talks about Saru being the greatest captain ever for some reason. But before she leaves, she tells Michael, you should be the captain of Discovery. And that's just like... yeah, they're definitely doing what I said at the beginning. Michael is going to be the captain of Discovery. We're just heading for it. We are just heading for the end zone right now. And that's what I want to fucking kind of pick up on, because with the return of the Guardian of the Galaxy, Guardian of the Future, not Guardian of the Galaxy, Forever, sorry, fucking hell. I'm starting to pick up a lot of stuff now, and I think I know how this series is going to end, which is pretty fucking shit, but let's go. So, we're hearing a lot about the Time War in Star Trek. We're hearing a lot about, what was the cause of the burn, even though it's not bloody making sense right now. But time and the burn at the same time. And there is a connection to the Next Generation I'm seeing. So what I think was the cause of the burn, I think it was All Good Things episode. I think they're going to make the burn the All Good Things episode, when the three enterprises came together to start the universe. I think they're going to try to put Michael fucking Burnham in that episode. They're talking about time travel. They are bringing up fucking Byrne. I think that's it. I think that's where we're going. Because they've tried so hard to put Michael fucking Burnham into the original series. And most Star Trek fans don't accept that. I think they're now going to try to put Michael fucking Burnham in one of the fucking greatest episodes of one of the greatest series of Star Trek. The Next Generation. They're going to try to connect Discovery into that. So that they can put Michael into every part of Star Trek. Which is bullshit. But that's what I think they're up to. I think they're seriously considering putting Michael Burnham in, well, connecting Michael Burnham to the Next Generation. Now, some people are going to say that is way too far. And others are going to say there's no fucking way that's going to happen. But if you just look at the evidence, there's some sort of time rift going on. They say 3 ships may have caused this. In previous episodes they said 3 Federation ships are on some sort, are too far away for Discovery to jump to, and are the point of where they're starting to receive all these messages about the burn. 3 starships. Do you remember that there were 3 enterprises at one point? I think that's what was happening. And I think the end result of this season is going to be Michael Burnham saves the Enterprise, stops the burn or second burn or whatever, and becomes the captain of Discovery. And the whole point of this is so that, because I think this is what Kurtzman thinks is going to happen, is, you know that Star Trek fans say, who's the best captain? Kirk or Picard? I think they're trying to make Burnham the third option. It's never going to fucking happen, Discovery. Michael Burnham is never going to be the best fucking captain in Star Trek. We all know that's where you're going. We all know that's what you're trying to do. But that is bullshit. It's never going to happen. And yes, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that's what the end goal is. I think that's what the 3 ships are in the in the previous episodes. That when they mentioned the 3 starships that were sending this signal out, it was the Enterprises, and I think that's what we're going to find out at the end. And if that does happen, fuck you, Discovery. No fucking way you're going to prove that fucking ever happened. So Georgiou goes to the portal, goes to a new life. Michael goes back up to Discovery. Oh yeah, we also see fucking Brooks helping the crew figure out what's happened to the ship from the previous episode, which had the Kelpians on it. If it was safe and secure, and he put some sort of new memory card into the Discovery computer, which was from the Imperial chain. The Admiral's pretty much signed off on them heading to the end, heading to find this lost Kelpian ship. The Admiral brings up the fact Saru is missing Kelpians, and he needs to remember that he's a Starfleet officer first. They didn't have a wake for Georgiou, which made no sense. She was not a bitch. But I think that was just them sending off the actress, and I'm just like, listen, we all know what's going to happen. If Discovery goes on any longer, she's going to come back. It's just obviously going to happen. So this whole fucking wake was bullshit. And again, at the end of it, it's just Michael Burnham saying she's the most important character on this fucking show. At a wake for a different person. Fuck off, Discovery. But there, that's where the episode ends. Oh, Brooks has still not been made a Federation officer. He's still some sort of fucking part-timer. Listen, get on with it, Discovery. Just make him a Federation officer. Let's just be done with this. Alright? For fuck's sake. And that's the end of my review. A pointless episode. Pretty much could tell what was going to happen. And yes, my theory may be out there, but I just keep thinking about the 3 ships that they mentioned, and in all things episode from Next Generation, 3 Enterprises. I think they're going to try to do that. I think they're going to try to put Michael in that episode somehow. And if they do that, fuck you, Discovery. You've already tried to fucking murder the original series. You're not doing that, fuck it. You're not going to do that to the next gen. God damn, Discovery. But that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And do think about subscribing if you like my content. Hail the Phantom Menace, long live CG, and fuck SJWs. Bye.